Welcome back to episode 3. If you have returned, thanks! I appreciate it. As always, thank you for doing the extra credit if you did it. Just thank you guys so much. I hope you all enjoyed last week. If you did, let me know. If you didn't, let me know. And we can adjust as needed. Today, we are going to switch a whole 180. And we are going to be talking about the top 10 oddly specific red flags that you should look for in men on dating apps. And we're also going to be talking about my specific Hinge dating nightmare. My first real date and Hinge date went horribly wrong. And I'm going to tell you guys all about it. This story is out on the internet somewhere, but we're going to introduce you guys to it. So, I do want to disclose something. This list is for specifically straight men. And if you are trying to find like a quality person that's not like lying to you, like if someone does like one of these things, there's a chance that like it could be a fluke. But if you're on the fence, these are pretty good indications that it's a red flag. Also, if you're a man and you do these things, don't. All right. Let's get into this. Number 1. Also, I tried to I made this PowerPoint a really long time ago with my friends because we were doing like a PowerPoint night, and I didn't think of a topic until like the day before. So I found all of these examples in 24 hours. Crazy. And I only used Bumble, which I think is crazier. I tried to like blur names and faces and that kind of stuff. And I deleted like some of these because they were just mean. But if you see like the little Not Responsible logo, I'm blurring someone's face. I'm not like crossing out their face. You know what I mean? Okay. If the bio is like really vague and the prompts include you/us, immediate red flag. I always look for the prompts. The prompts will tell me so much more than the pictures will. And if you're going to waste a prompt on something stupid, I'm going to think, oh, you can't come up with anything creative enough to put in place of it. So, like, as we can see, is like, if I had 3 wishes, I'd wish for you, me, and us. Ew. Gross. Shorty is... I will never shut up about having you in my life. You don't know me. How can you say that? I'm insane. Like, come up with something better, please. This one at the bottom really just makes me mad because it says, what makes a great relationship? Us. Haha, JK, JK, unless, shut up. What do you mean? No. Okay, number 2. If more than 2 of their interests include partying/drinking/going out. I understand that like a good social life is important. However, you should have some hobbies that you can do sober. Honestly, this list goes for women too. I don't even know why I'm singling out men. If most of these apply to women, I should change that title. You will have nothing to talk about with this person. If their like only hobbies are like drinking, their only personality is going to be when they're drinking. Like, they're going to use that as a crutch to be really boring when they're sober. In this lovely example, this man has 5 hobbies listed. You're allowed 5 on Bumble. And one of them is volleyball, the other is rap music, and the other 3 are clubs, bars, and whiskey. So you're telling me you cannot find anything else to do in your free time besides get drunk? Crazy. Crazy. This one's a little controversial, but you're going to have to use your best judgment with me here. If the politics listed are moderate, hold with me. Some people are truly moderate. I know so many people who don't care about politics. However, if you're thinking about this if you're thinking about this episode while you're scrolling or swiping, and this thought comes to your mind, more than likely that person's not moderate. More than likely, they're just trying to piss off the least amount of people so they can moderate their way into your pants. Sorry. Like, if it looks like a really genuine person and they look like they would be moderate, they probably are. But if they just look nasty and then they list moderate, not political, or like, I don't know, what's another one? I don't even know. Like one of the vague ones, they're more than likely just not trying to ruffle feathers. Again, use your best judgment. If the first picture doesn't show their face, this one's gonna piss me off, okay? Because, see, I kept this guy's name in there because you can't see his face. So, if the first picture doesn't show their face, number one, we don't mess with insecure men. That's number one. Number two, if, like, for example, I don't use this picture, but there is a picture of me graduating high school, and I graduated in 2021, which was COVID year. So I was graduating high school, and I really liked this picture, but I have a mask on. Like, I have a mask across my face. But, like, the point of the picture is not my face. The point of the picture is me graduating. That's understandable. But if, like, your first picture is you like this, no! What? What do you mean? Okay. So, this guy, I did blur out his face and, like, his name for, like, privacy reasons. But this is a really good example of what I'm talking about. In this picture, it's a very clear photo. You can see his face. I blurred it for this man's privacy. You can clearly read the information. I blurred that for his privacy too. And he's smiling. You can't tell that, but I can. And a bonus is that it shows him doing an activity. Like, he's obviously hiking. He's doing something. But you can still see his face. You can tell what he looks like from the first picture. Like, it's not trying to hide anything or anything like that. The next one is so important. If they don't have any prompts at all, run. No one is hot enough to not have a personality. Repeat after me. No one is hot enough to not have a personality. Your turn. Good job. Not us sitting in silence. Okay. If they plug their social media in their profiles, bonus points if that's the only thing in their bio. I'm not looking at your Instagram. I'm looking at your dating profile. Don't do that to me. I couldn't use the examples for this because, like, it was literally, like, exposing these people. This example did make me laugh, though. Well, hey there, and then their name is always my opening line. I said, like, well, hey there, Reese, and then he just sent, like, the little, like, face. And this man also had no prompts. I said, what? He said, boring. Couldn't even use a complete sentence. I think I was just in a mood this day, because I like to pick fights. And I was like, bro, your profile has 2 pictures and no prompts, but I'm the boring one? It's like that TikTok sound where it's like, he said that I'm really freaking boring. Well, that's great coming from you. So I dismissed the conversation, and then 2 hours later he texted me back and he was like, add me on Instagram. No, I will not. And I promise I have a more interesting Instagram than you anyway. Why am I gonna follow you? You should follow me. I'm gonna get myself annoyed. Okay. If somebody is traveling, this is gonna annoy me too. I know when I'm traveling, the only reason I am opening a dating app is to window shop. And I'm always swiping left. I am not going to be traveling and swipe right on anyone because that's a waste of everyone's time. And I'm not here to do that, right? Sometimes I'm like, what's the merchandise looking like? And I'll swipe through. But whatever. Just if you're traveling somewhere, especially for 2 weeks, or if you're here on work, just turn your phone off. It's so easy. Just put it down. Do what you're here to do. Enjoy the scenery. If it's a new place, experience a new place. Maybe learn a new skill. Try something new. If you're in a new place with a new language, try to learn the language. If you're with your family, that's so much worse. If you're traveling with your family, this one just cracked me up. This one I wouldn't even call it a red flag. It's just a pet peeve of mine. Is when I am conversing with a gentleman and he tries to tell me stuff that he thinks I want to hear. That's going to make me so mad so quickly. I was talking to this guy and I was genuinely interested in the conversation. And I don't even know how to describe it. He wouldn't answer my questions. He just said what he thought I wanted to hear. For example, I love country music. We will get into that later. I love country music. There is a country music bar near my house. So I said, and there's line dancing there. I said, have you ever been to this bar? Very specific question. He said, you don't need to ask again. Yes, we'll go dancing. And I was like, that's not what I asked you. And I know in your head, you're like, oh, it's so sweet. He's trying to guess what I'm thinking. No, it's not. I promise you. I don't have any money, but I bet money that he already thinks he knows. And he's not going to listen. Again, this is just first impressions. So, don't take this, to heart. But these are pretty good indications that it's going to be a problem later. I hope you prove me wrong. I hope you're like, but Grace, he's different. I hope you're right. But when you're wrong, you can come back over. This was on Hinge. This wasn't even on Bumble. This man said, and this is his, I don't know if you've ever used Hinge, but this is his opening thing. So he liked a picture of me dressing a scuba tank. So that means setting my scuba gear on a scuba tank. And he said, this was right when the Barbie movie came out. I got an extra ticket to the Barbie movie if you're down. My friend said he didn't want to go because it's too girly. Rolly eyes emoji. Can you believe that? The audacity. Anyway, be my passenger princess on our way to the movies. Let me go puke real quick and come back. No! Number one. Don't tell me what you think I want to hear. Number one, the picture of me was a cool picture of me. Ask me anything about the picture. No. This icked me out so bad. I very quickly said no. If he can speak too many languages, that's a red flag. Who are you trying to speak to? Other girls? This is more of a joke than anything. If he genuinely can speak that language, good on him. But you would not believe how many, like, people put that they can speak a language. And, like, let's say it's Spanish, and I'm like, oh, you can speak Spanish? And they're like, ¿Cómo estás? That's it. That's all you got. Okay. If you genuinely can speak the language, good on you. But if you speak too many languages, I'm going to be like... If a man or girl has a picture of their ex on their profile, bonus points. No. If they have a picture of another person on their profile with their face blocked out, specifically somebody like an ex, and this one is double points because it has you written over her face. Take new pictures. It's not that hard. You know how easy it is? Picture. You hold. I'm going to piss off a lot of my film friends when I say this. You have a decent camera in your pocket. It's literally with you 24/7. I promise you right now, 80% of people are watching me through their phone. And if you're not watching me through your phone, I'm on your TV and you're scrolling on your phone. Take a picture of yourself. Oh my gosh. But like, also it means they're not respectful to their exes and they're not going to be respectful to you. But like, seriously, take a new picture of yourself. Even if you're like, if you don't want to post a selfie and you're embarrassed to like ask your friends to take a picture of you, set your phone up on a bench, on a chair, take 4 paces back and smile. It's not that hard. Dishonorable mention. It says, my personal hell is listening to country music. Immediate red flag. Don't listen to these people. Pop quiz. How much is wrong with this profile? I'll give you a minute to look. Because I can find like 5 right off the bat. Okay, you found him? Cool. Number 1, I didn't have to blur this guy's name because in his name it says, take a guess. I will not. The first picture, he's wearing sunglasses, number 1. His head's so far away, I can't see what he looks like. And it's just his abs. I don't care. The bio says, Lowkey just got this for the day. I'ma delete after today. Trying to see what's up with this. Never did it before. Gross. Immediately gross. And then there's, like, the basics are, he's a man looking for something casual. No prompts. And the third picture doesn't show his face. The second picture does. The audacity. The audacity. Thank you and stay safe out there. So those are my tips for going through dating apps. Again, if you're, like, looking for something casual or, like, looking for, like, a non-committal thing, cool. But, like, if you're looking for, like, a genuine, like, a date or, like, something like that, these are just gonna help you, like, sift through. And like I said, most of these can be applied to girls, too. I kind of, like, I have a mostly female audience, so I kind of, like, directed them at men. But, like, if you do these things, check yourself. Because they can be applied to everyone. All right. Let's get into the horror story. Oh. My favorite question. I forgot I put this in here. Do you know what this is going to be? My favorite question, my opening move on dating apps is, you're traveling in the woods and an angry bear approaches you. And you have nothing to protect yourself. Just your bare hands. Get it? Because we're fighting a bear. Do you realistically think you can fight off the bear? this is going to tell me so much about your humility, which is something that I really look for. If the answer is yes, on Adam, no human can fight off an angry bear without assistance. It's impossible. You have to be Steve Irwin. Like, there's just nothing that will do it unless you are like some random survival enthusiast. And I wouldn't even ask the survival enthusiast this, because I would ask them about a shark or something. You can't do it. And if you say yes, and some guys genuinely will, they'll be like,
absolutely I can. Rah.
No, you can't. And you're going to get on my last nerve. If you say no, this is like a yellow flag. Because I like the realisticness. But like what? You're just going to give up? Okay. The correct answer to this question is realistically no, but I would try. That's a perfect answer. Because no one can. I'm glad you're realistic. But it's the effort that counts. There you go. If you're looking to get to the bottom of someone's true intentions, that's what's it. I got 10 minutes. Okay. We're ahead of schedule. I can go a little more. My first official date story. So like I talked about last week, my biggest fear is commitment. And I have like a hint of paranoia. Like, I'm not even gonna exaggerate a little bit. I think everyone's out to get me all the time. So in my brain, when I'm going through like dating apps, I'm swiping through serial killers. Like, which one am I gonna let kill me? That's kind of the thought process there. So when a guy asks me on a date, usually I say no, unless I get the overwhelming vibe that he's not gonna murder me. So, scrolling on Hinge, this guy likes me, and like, he was cute and nice and played football. So I was like, okay, we'll go on a date. He was very sweet, and he went to a school near me. So he didn't go to my school, but he went to another school, like, near where I live. And we had mutual friends. Obviously, I, like, looked him up on Instagram and stuff, and we had, like, a bunch of mutual friends, so I knew that he wasn't a serial killer. What was I going to say? I had something to say, and I forgot. My first turnoff was I was 20 at the time, and he was 26. I didn't, whatever. Hindsight's 2020. 2026. So, I made a TV pilot in 2023, and I spent a year working on it. And this was, like, in the heat of it. So, this was in September. I was super busy. When we were filming this pilot, we did, like, a good 2 months worth of rehearsals. And everybody who was on the project was either a student or a professor at a school. So we all had, like, stuff during the day. And we did rehearsals from, like, 10 at night to, like, midnight. Like, 3 nights a week. All of us were tired. It was so much fun. But it was a lot. So, I don't know. And I also had, like, a job on top of this. So I'm at my other job, not the film. And he was like, oh, I'd love to see you, blah, 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 blah. And I was like, you know what? We can get ice cream. That way, it's like, if it's horrible, I can leave. I was so scared. I texted all my friends, and I was so scared. And I called my mom, and I was like, Mom, I'm going on a date with a man from the internet. And she was like, careful, he might murder you. Thanks, Mom. Made it worse. Anyway, it goes bad literally from the beginning. So I get in my car and I'm driving there and I get there and I text him and I'm like, hey, I'm here. And like this ice cream shop is in like a little shopping center. So there's like restaurants and stores and stuff in it. It was like 9:30 maybe on a weeknight. I didn't know that this ice cream shop closes at 9. So I get out of my car and I text him and I'm like, hey, I'm here. Like I'm in front. And he's on the like other end of the shopping center. And he's like, where are you? And I was like, right in front of the ice cream store. Where are you? He FaceTimes me immediately. Whoa, don't do that. He FaceTimes me, and I, like, understand where he is. He starts waving uncontrollably and yelling across the shopping center. Ah! Whoa. Serial killer behavior, if you ask me. So he ends up, like, coming over there. We find that the ice cream shop was closed. And then there's, like, a taco place right next to the ice cream store that was open. So we go in, we get a table, we're talking, and we order, like, nachos. This man eats no nachos, which was the craziest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. Number one, I didn't get 3 sentences out. And we know I like to yap. This man talked the entire time. And he kept doing this thing where, like, he would take a chip, go like he would put it in his mouth, start talking, put the chip down on a plate, and then push the plate away from him. And then he would keep talking, and then, like, 5 minutes later, he would pull the plate back, take another chip, repeat the process. The plate had, like, 15 chips on it. He did not consume a single one. If I did talk, it was mostly, like, about Peach Wine and about the filming and whatever. I will say the waitress was a girl's girl, though, because she would, like, stand behind him. She could feel something was off. Girls can feel that. And she kept going to me, like, behind him and behind the table. I'd be like, this man was so incredibly nervous. Like, you could see him sweating. And I felt kind of bad because he was so nervous. And, like, I was nervous, too, because I thought he was going to kill me. But, like, I wasn't letting him know that, you know? So, we're talking, whatever. And I can't even say we're talking. He's talking, whatever. He cuts himself off, puts a chip down, and he goes... Hang on, I can't even say this with a straight face. I've told this story so many times, and I laugh every time. Do you know what's coming? Do you remember this story? He cuts himself off, and he goes, here are my goals for the rest of the year. And this is in September. It icks me out. He says, find a wife, winks at me, travel the world, and put a dent in my degree. Sir. I was flabbergasted. The only reasonable thing that I can think to make a sound, I sat there and I went, by Christmas? You're kidding. What? Who says that? Since I'm so patient and kind and gentle, I let it go. What do you mean a dent? You're 26 years old. What do you mean a dent? I was almost done my degrees by then. And I'm not trying to compare, but, like, why was that number 3 on the priority list? Just, what? Crazy. Okay, I let it go. But then I shouldn't have let it go. I should have wrapped it up right then and there. This man was so stressed, and I'm going to act this out for you, because talking it through won't do it justice. So he's talking and he's going like this, and then he starts to get really fast, and he starts to get really nervous, and then he's just like looking at me, and then he makes direct eye contact, and he looked me straight in my soul and dry heaved at the table. You know what I said? Made eye contact directly with that waitress, and I said, "Can we wrap this up?" Yeah. I've never been dry heaved at in my entire life. That was my cue to exit. So I was like, oh, damn, I have to leave. I have school and work and film and so many things to do. This man gets up, like, out of his chair, and he's like, oh, right, yeah. I was like, we still have to pay. I asked the waitress for the check, and you know that thing where you, like, pretend to reach for your purse, and you, like, are ruffling through it, and your wallet is the hardest it's ever been to find ever in your life? He waited such a long time and just, like, watched me go through my purse. And I initiated, and I was like, we can split it if you want. And he looks at me up and down and goes, I got it. It's okay. I'll get it. Crazy. Okay. So I probably had 8 of the chips of this giant thing of nachos. And I said, do you want to take those home? Like, you can eat them later. This man looks me right in my face and goes, thank you for caring for me. This check could not come any faster. So he pays, and as soon as he pays, like, and she comes back, he signs the thing, and he leaves his credit card and his check on the table. And I was like, his credit card and the leftovers. And I was like, dude, what are you doing? Like, get with the program. At this point, I was tired. I had been dry heaved at. I wanted to leave. So we're standing outside of this restaurant, and my car's within sight, right? And I guess he parked on, like, the far end of the parking lot, whatever. And I was like, well, it was really nice to meet you. And without saying anything, this man gives me a hug so tightly my feet come off the ground. And I don't know, if you know me in real life, I'm not a touchy person. So I'm in this hug. And remind you, I'm already afraid this man's going to kill me. So I stiffen up like a board, and I'm standing there, and, like, my feet are, like, this far off the ground. And he's just nestling into my shoulder, and I'm like, what do I do? And the hug, like, took a really long time, to the point where I was, like, tapping on his back, and I was like, all right, buddy, let me go. But I couldn't, like, say anything because I was scared. He put my feet back on the ground, and I took off running. I didn't say one thing. I just ran for my car as fast as I could. And I got in my car, and I left, and I went home. The next day, he texted me, hey, I had a really good time. When can I see you again? That text did not get a response. That text went unanswered, which I feel kind of bad about because I know he was nervous. But, like, you picked me up off the ground. Nope. No. Anyway, with that being said, my methods are not foolproof. Obviously, we have learned that even though these are tips, with all the tips, you can still have a horror story. Amen. All right, that's going to wrap it up for me this week. I hope you all enjoyed that story because I enjoy telling it. Like, subscribe, Share to your friends. Follow the TikTok, Instagram, all the things. Links will be put in the description below. Do your extra credit. Yeah. Have a good week.